I'm Emily. This is Will. And that's Lou Dog. And we live on our sailboat Appa. Catch us every other Wednesday on YouTube. And welcome to the Sailing Bison. Now that we'd completed our side quests and returned from our sabbaticals, we're ready to get back on the proverbial road and leave Escondido. A full day of laundry and provisioning later, we were ready to slip off the mooring. But before we could even have our morning coffee, our OG buddy boat Fantasy meandered into the mooring field. A new maneuver for us, we side-tied and had ourselves a massive breakfast while catching up with Nick and John. After a round of hot showers and, shockingly, no scolding from the marina officials,
flat water!
We said our goodbyes and made our way across the channel to Honeymoon Cove.
We're doing it.
What about timing, huh?
We're getting out of Escondido.
We're out.
Honeymoon Cove is a perfectly secluded anchorage, just a hop, skip, and a jump from Puerto Escondido. All in, the trek is about 3 miles. All you have to do is slingshot across the channel. There are 3 lobes available for anchoring, all with their own perks and pitfalls. The center anchorage is where we're hoping to drop the hook. We should be able to anchor in about 30 feet of water, and the shoreline drops off significantly, so we can get pretty close to the beach. The northern anchorage is picture perfect. It puts you right off the white sand beach, is only 15 feet deep, and has a sandy bottom, great for anchoring. There's only room for 1 boat here, and you have to toss out a stern anchor or risk swinging into the rocky cliffside. The southern anchorage is very similar, though it is a bit wider. We'd still opt for a stern anchor, but there's lots of great snorkeling on either side of the rocky shore. If only the water wasn't so cold. We had very little wind for crossing the channel, and therefore opted to motor to the anchorage. Not our ideal situation, but that's why you don't cruise on a schedule. Upon arrival, this eclectic giant of a yacht was parked smack dab in front of the central anchorage, easily taking up those 3 to 4 boat lengths of space. So we opted for the southern cove. But of course, just as we were getting settled and double-checking our surroundings with the rangefinder, they hauled up anchor and made way for the open channel. Now was our chance. Once we were all settled in, it was time for some wilderness R&R. We spent the next 2 days relaxing on the beach. Will spent most of his time recovering from the head cold he'd caught back home. Lou Dog and I, however, were ready to stretch our legs. By day 2, Will had had enough of sitting still and decided to throw on his wetsuit to see if he couldn't catch us some dinner. We'd heard that fishing of any kind wasn't allowed here, but almost everyone we'd seen had a line in the water, so we decided to just go for it. It was well worth it.
I got something.
I see that. Eating good tonight.
The best part about this temporary home of ours was the nightly dolphin show. They're a frequent enough encounter that you'd think we'd be bored of them by now. but their presence, whether it be at anchor or underway, is always a welcome surprise. There's something magical about having dolphins around. It always feels like a call to play. Feeling newly inspired, we decided to seize the following day by packing in the beach gear and breaking out the backpacks. Despite the post-hike exhaustion, it wasn't long before Will was ready for the next activity. And what better way to spend an afternoon than trimming the Mullet-Hawk?
Do 360. What do you think, Lou?
Will's never let his hair get very long before, so when we moved on the boat and realized we were going to be spending most of our time off-grid, he decided to grow it out just to see how curly it would get. Spoiler alert, he's a regular Johnny Thornberry. Even though we were quite taken with the place, we realized we were starting to find too much repetition in our days. So we made the most of our final afternoon before moving on towards Bahia Salinas.
Watching Will struggle to put his wetsuit on.
Will went off to clean the hull, which, after 5 weeks on mooring, was a pretty big job, while I spent some time making the next video.
I don't know how much help I'm really going to be here with my arm.
Well, you better be so, because I'm not getting stuck in the suit.
3 hours later, he made his way topside and then began the real fun, getting him out of his wetsuit. Later that evening, we hopped off to the northern cove to enjoy what remained of our final day on that picture-perfect beach. Will, still on the move despite 3 hours in the water, went off to fish, so Lou Dog and I did what we do best: chill on the beach. Thought our solitude was about to be ruined when the usual sunset charter pulled in, but they never ended up dropping their anchor. They just did a quick 180 and went on their way. A little weird, but I sure wasn't complaining. Lucky for Lou Dog, fresh sushi was on the menu tonight. And lucky for us, so was a killer sunset. goodbye to our first anchorage in 5 weeks. We'll see you next time as we head towards Bahia Salinas. And thanks for watching!